Hi there, everybody who is already here. Yes, you can unmute yourself as users because.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, yes. So people can unmute them. So it's for me the first.
I will meet myself. I'm Joanna. Nice to meet you.
Yes, hi, Joanna. Nice to meet you as well.
This is my son here.
Okay.
Helping with Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, great. The next generation of local guides.
I will mute myself then.
Sorry?
I will mute myself then.
Yes, I think because in total 76 people have signed up for them for the meetup. So if everybody if everybody is unmuted, the background noises might be too overwhelming. We will see.
Yeah.
Hi, Jan. How are you?
Hi, George.
Hi. How are you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Same. Good night. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out how all this works here, because now I see a few people joining, but I have no idea.
Yeah, just keep it going.
Gallery view.
Hi, George.
Hi. How are you? Hi, dear. How are you doing?
I'm fine. We are all three here.
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
People, it will just show up. Everything will pop up as the people start to join. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It signed me out after a while. If you keep it on mute yourself, it will sign you out.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's for me also the first time that I make some decent use of Zoom. And it said that if for sessions with more than 3 people, the maximum duration is 40 minutes. So that's why I scheduled 2 sessions.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yes, that's correct. Okay, it's a free utility, so what can you imagine?
Yeah, no, you can have sessions of 2 days in a row if you have a paid version, of course. So
that definitely, yes, definitely. How is it going in Belgium? The weather?
Yeah, gray, cloudy. The autumn is nearer than summer.
Hi all.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Let's just wait a few more minutes before until it's really 8 that all people can join.
It's 11:30 p.m. in my country.
Yes, hi there.
So I am attending meeting on bed.
Okay. Yeah, it's if you organize something global, it's always really difficult to find a good time spot or time slot because it's bound to be bad or middle of the night for somebody. So
yeah, right, I can understand, but yet I joined and I'm eagerly waiting for you guys to start the topic.
Yes,
great. Nice job.
We will in 3 minutes. So it's still not really 8. Wait for people to join. Let me check already. Now you can see my. Now you can see my desktop.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. And how do I stop share here? Okay. Yeah, it all makes pretty much sense. It's all more or less as expected, but you never know if you're using a tool for the first time.
Yeah, but it's a known tool. We use it in the IT department. We use it sometimes when we connect with some people. Yeah, we use it.
Yes.
I'm familiar with it in a way.
Well, I've been in a few Hangouts, but those are typically limited to 10 users. So that makes it a bit difficult, of course.
Yeah.
I've had best luck with Zoom also, so this is my favorite.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's I just Googled video conferencing tools and this came up as the most useful or practical one for most people.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. 5, 10.
I don't know about regular Skype because everybody have Skype and now it's allowing multi-video
Yes.
conferences.
Yes, but Microsoft will be transforming it all into Microsoft Teams, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, a futuristic thing. But as enterprise, we're not going for Teams because it's Microsoft. We're not paying the money. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're trying not to pay that much. Yeah.
Okay, so it's now 8. So I think it's time that we actually go into the real program. So first and foremost, thank you all very much for joining this first, hopefully in a list of virtual meetups. The topic I selected, as you know, is lovely lists because it's a nice alliteration, and a lot of people think lists are quite popular or rising in popularity. We'll come back to that in a minute, I think. You should be aware that this Zoom tool also offers to record the session, so this is being recorded, and please let me know if this is a problem for any of the participants, if it would be put online afterwards, or on connect a link to YouTube or whatever. I'll have to figure that still figure that out. Where is
I might have a suggestion. Let the speaker just unmute himself. The rest, let's mute ourselves.
Yes,
when we speak, we'll put ourselves unmuted.
That was my next.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I'm struggling between screens because. So please, everybody, if you are not speaking, mute yourself, and if you have something to say, unmute, and then it's a bit more convenient because right now there's at least one person generating quite a bit of background noise. I'm not sure where it's coming from. But he's not here.
Yeah, I think Jan, as administrator, you can.
Yes. Yeah, as an organizer, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
All right. So lists are at the moment quite popular, mainly because Google is pushing them so much. And as you, or a lot of you will know, as part of the requirements to sign up for Connect Live, the yearly event where Google is inviting a number of local guides to the Google headquarters, one of the requirements this year was make a list and publish a list. So a lot of new lists were published at that time. It was around April, May, I think. It was a kind of kickoff, I think, that they wanted to have people work with lists. And I guess, well, most of you are attending here, so probably have made a list or are interested in making lists. But there are still a few questions or uncertainties about them. So that's exactly why we could have this session over here. So far, let me see, we have like 18, 19 people in the session, which is still okay and manageable, I think. So we can go into details. I don't think we have time for each and everyone to elaborately introduce him or herself and then show the lists and stuff like this, because then you have to be able to share your screen, or on mobile devices that might be a bit of a problem, of course. So I'd really like to focus on the questions you might still have about lists and the problems you have encountered while making them or while editing them. And to set the good example, I'll come up with one myself, which is that it's really not possible if you make a list. Hang on, I'm struggling between screens again. Where is, here it is. So if you're making a list, you can add a number of places and you can select the picture of all of the individual places, but for some or other reason, you can't select the main picture of the list. And of course, this is the picture that is supposed to draw attention to your list. And that's, yeah, kind of weird if you ask me. I'll try to set up a share of, no, where is it? I need a third screen for the next one, that's for sure. Let me share this one. Okay, you can see it now, I guess. That's my mobile device with maps already open on it. The lists, for those who have not made or found or whatever, you can just go into the menu. There's this Your Places, and then under Saved, there are these with these. So there's some default things. But then there's also, with this icon means a list. So here are a few lists. Two of my lists I've made public. One I'm still working on. And if I click the lists here, you will see that I've added a number of places and was able to choose a picture of all of them. But this one is random from one of the places on the list, and I have no control over it. So you make a big effort to do to make a description, to add them, and so on, and then you can't select the main picture, and that's, yeah, really a pity if you ask me. Anybody having this same experience or similar experiences? Because I'm not going to talk myself for the entire hour. That's also not the idea. Virtual Meetup is people sharing stuff. So feel free to comment, I would say. But nobody is.
No, but for me, I
just one thing before you comment. If it's your first comment, please state your name, country, and local guides level to just give an idea. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, okay. George Houri, I'm from Greece. I'm a level 8 on Google contributor. For the list, I'm new into it. I didn't have the chance to look at it, so I'm taking like a more experience from you as a level 10. Mm-hmm. What are your comments and what have you done? I didn't do my list yet. I'm just reading at it like in the time being, like having a look at what is it about. So for me, I'm a newbie in this, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from my side.
Okay, great. Then perhaps it's important for you to know, and let me also share this one, that I have to click the share button, of course. It's also very important to know that there's a big difference between the way lists are shown on desktop and on mobile devices, because it's very clear that the lists are meant for use on mobile devices, because on desktop here, you see the list, it doesn't even allow a nice image or this main image, and the title is always, yeah, it's not as nice a layout, I want to say, as the mobile version. And one thing I also came across is that there were some, and I'm not sure if anybody is still experiencing this, but there were quite a bit of problems with creating lists and getting these descriptions to stick. Because what people were experiencing is that you would create lists and then make very nice descriptions. You put your time in it to write all of these texts and yeah, really make an effort. And then a day later, it turned out all of these lists, all of these descriptions, sorry, were gone. And for the places where you had given a review, the text here was replaced with the text of the review. So that was very unsatisfactory to see in the list, of course. But we were able to figure out, I'm not sure if Nabil is in this session at the moment, our friend from Egypt, because he also had a lot of problems with this and was yeah, experienced or brought it up on the Connect forum, where not a real solution was found until we were able to figure out that if you create the list on desktop, or you can create the list wherever you want, on mobile or on desktop, but then you have to make these descriptions on desktop for some or other reason, and then they stick around. And that's was nice to find out, because then they finally were there all the time. Another problem was that for some purposes, so let me select my other list here, soundtrack to a walk. So this is a bit of a special concept that I created as an example of how you can create original kinds of lists. So most of the lists are the 5 favorite pizza places in city XYZ or whatever, which is nice to know, of course, but I always like to make it a bit more special. So what I created was a concept, soundtrack to a walk, where you have a list of 10 places, which are each of them like 3 minutes walk away, one from the other. And for each place on the list, there's a song selected that has something to do with the name of the place or the activity of the place, something like this. And these songs are collected in a Spotify list. So it always goes along a list on Google Maps with a Spotify list. But for this to work, of course, you need to be able to select in which order the list is shown. And at the beginning of the list, this was not possible. It was really annoying because the order of the places on the list was adapting to where you were in real time. So for a concept like this to work, and in this case, that's just what I did. I made all the places on one straight line. That more or less worked. The problem with it was that if you make them in a circle, then this location thing didn't work. So, but after a while, they made some changes, and here you can see it right away with the edit button. You can select this option to customize the list order. So that's the way you can decide in which exact order lists need to be. But if you look here at the desktop version, you can see there's edit list, but all of these things you can edit the comments and stuff, but there's no way for there's no option to share these or to make it in another order, which is strange, of course, that not strange, it's typical of Google Maps. I think that some things are possible on desktop, other things are possible on mobile devices. So yeah, this inability to pick the main image is something very annoying, if you ask me. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for this, and yeah, let's hear from somebody else who has perhaps created the list? Somebody wants to talk about what they did with lists up to now?
Just to comment something for the list. So let's say that you went to a place, to a new area, and you went to couple of places. So you created a list of these couple of places that you visit, and you can post your own picture. As what I can see now is that you can choose other users' picture and either your picture in case that your picture get approved.
Yes, you can choose any picture which is added to that place on Google Maps. So if you take a picture yourself and then upload it to Maps and it gets approved, you can
So
then
let's say
also use that,
you share-
your own picture. Yes.
Yeah, so you share your experience in that area, that you did this couple of places, and you can share it with me, with other people,
Yes.
to go and do the experience you have done, either a hike or either just a walk or something, just to share a list of it.
Yes.
This is what I
And let me give a good example of this, George, that you will probably remember or recognize if we were in Ghent. So that's where the meetup was in June of this year, the big European meetup. If you click on Ghent and go into the details, you will see that there are, I have to scroll down here, there are events and then there are lists. And here you see a list by one of the participants in our meetup who created this, which is a very practical example of a list, if you ask me, because this is the in the city of Ghent in Belgium, you have a city card meant for tourists. And this is a card at 25 or 30 euros. And then you can visit like 15 different museums and stuff. Or the costs are all covered in the price of the card. And Irina, she made this list with all the places that are covered in this city card. That's a very, very good example of why this can be so useful.
Amazing.
Okay, so I'm happy that George is talking, but I haven't heard anybody else so far. Nobody.
Okay, I will try.
Hi.
I'm trying. Do you see me now?
Yes, we can see you perfectly.
Hello, I am Emmeline from the Netherlands, and I tried making one time a list, and I didn't put much effort in it, so I'm learning a lot right now. Yeah. And I made a list. Mostly, I talk a lot about Japan, so I made a list about Japan, but in Germany.
Okay.
Just finding places of that.
Yeah.
But now I see you can do a lot of more with the list, and
you can be very, very creative with lists, of course, and even for people who are in business, there are some nice uses of lists, because if you have a business and you have a presence on Google Maps, you can of course make a list of useful places for people that might be interested in whatever you are selling or whatever your business is, and then obviously include your own business on that list. I think that can be a real nice way of promoting your business in a right now free way, which is really, really, really very much supported by Google at the moment. They're promoting lists very much, especially on the mobile device through this Explore area. There, if you go to a city, a lot of lists show up. Okay, now I see that there's also a chat window, which I had not opened yet. So, and a lot of people have been asking things like this. Will we get access to the recording? Well, I'm recording it. No idea what if the tool is recording it. No idea if it will be easy to then make it available. I'll have to see. What is the list about? So I think this is covered for now. Okay, somebody is sharing the screen or not. Or trying to share the screen? Okay.
Yeah, people are joining from the chat.
Yes.
I'm reading all.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, my name is Joanna.
Hi, Joanna.
Hi, I'm from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, okay.
Yeah, and I'm at level 7.
Okay.
Local guide.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I would like to ask, are there any limitations that we have to respect when we are doing the list?
Limitations, not that I have heard of. So typically they say that a list needs to have minimum 5 places. I think is the minimum requirement, and typically I think 8 to 12 or something is what they advise as the ideal length. I haven't, perhaps it's a good exercise for somebody to try. Is there an upper limit? Can I make a list of 500 places? And of course, if you make the calculation for those who want to go into or are interested in making some nice points, that's of course their lists are very good, because per list that you create it's 10 points, I think, and then for each description of a place on the list it's another 5 points. So it's really, let's say a list of 10 places is 10 for the list, and then 10 times 5 if you add description, so that's 60 points. Yeah, of course, if you make a list and just put OK as description, that's a description, but probably, as most of you know, there's being algorithms that check whatever is being added to maps, and people that enter this kind of rubbish will be able to do this for a while, but after a while it gets detected and then you get suspended from Google Maps, or as a local guide suspended, not the maps. You can always, even if you're suspended, you can add reviews and pictures, but you cannot or you cannot access, connect and stuff like this. Morten from Denmark had an interesting remark that the number of characters for the title of a list is quite limited. It's like 40 or something. It's I also have to check, but it's very short. Of course, I think this is linked to the fact that it's meant or really meant for mobile devices. So long lists would then automatically get a very tiny font and make it harder to read. So that might be behind the reason why the number of characters in the title is limited. And also perhaps it's to make you think about a good, catchy, short title from marketing perspective. That's perhaps, yeah, what's behind that. George was sharing something.
Yeah, I shared the link for creating the list in case somebody want to see it again. I was looking at it in Google Maps. So this is how to create a list and all the extra information if you need as reading, not as a real experience from Jan.
Okay. And it's quite funny because Nike was saying that I was asking if have you received any perks, and I'm just getting a pop-up here from Zoom, a gift from Zoom. We removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. So,
sweet, maybe because of the number of people.
I have no. Oh, perhaps it's the first. It's the first one because we are doing this for the first time. No idea. It's a nice perk, so that means that probably we won't be needing to use that second
but
URL.
Yeah, in case people joined the second, but I don't think so. They will go for the one first.
So if for some reason the meeting in a few minutes does get suspended, or in 10 minutes or so, please then go to the second link that I have provided, and we can join there to continue. But yeah, it seems for now we can go on. So George, you were sharing the link where the instructions how to create lists, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, that's very useful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody we have not heard yet with some remarks, questions, things about lists?
Hello.
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 Hi.
Yeah. My name is Jude Azai.
Hi, Jude. Hey,
yeah,
Jude.
I'm
Sorry. You're probably tired of that joke.
I'm from Jos in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a very vivid local guides community in Nigeria.
Yes, there is actually.
Yeah.
However, for me personally, I haven't been able to create a list, even though I'm on level 8.
Yeah.
For some reason, I haven't been able to understand how to go about it. And I think that's essentially why I decided to join this,
Okay.
you know, this conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then there's a couple of questions about that. Let me go back to this. Share. Also the desktop overall. So here, if you start on Maps, it's basically, and that was also for me a bit counterintuitive. If you go into the menu, you would expect here to be something like lists, and
Yes.
there's not. So you have to know, you have to go first to your places, and then here you would also expect lists, right? No, it's not. It's under saved, and there you have existing lists, or here just on the plus, and yeah, you're adding a new list. And these lists can be either private, which means that only you can see them, a group, so then you have the possibility to invite other people to see this list, which can of course be very, very practical if you have a closed group or an event where you only want to share this list with participants. Say there's something in town you want to do and it's covering multiple locations. Or that's what Google prefers, of course, public. Then you make a list, and I think you only get local guides points if your list is public. For all the others, yes. For all the others, of course, there's no real value for maps. Okay. Yeah. One thing I have been wondering about also quite a bit is, so in this case, we were at the city of Ghent, and there you have like a link, a list directly related to Ghent. But if I go here and so I'm sitting now in Bochum, city of Bochum in Germany, where I made this soundtrack to a walk list. So I would expect to see here, if I scroll down, okay, events. Oh, Dortmund is playing, it's quite close here. Oktoberfest, yeah, we're in Germany, of course. And then, okay, here is the list, soundtrack to a walk, because it was in Bochum, and some other lists here, biking in Düsseldorf. But then the other example of the list I created is Ida Oberstein, which is the city. So you see here all these green things are the places on the list, and you see most of the places here are really very, very close to it. But still, if I click Ida Oberstein, the city, and go explore, you can see some events and you can see some lists, but not my list. And if I check this list, for example, escape rooms, no idea why this is showing up here. That shows 5 places with, for example, here Zandvoort. This is in the Netherlands. That's like 600 kilometers away from Ida Oberstein. Zandwendel is then quite close again. What I want to point out is I have no idea how they connect the lists that are created to these places, and in general, how you can find lists. So if I go to my lists again, so here you see that he has 602 views already, because yeah, it's there. And here, this my other list. And by the way, that's not right. I visited all of them, but anyway, there's no views, no likes. So I'm wondering, how on earth can people ever find this list? And I was hoping that somebody in the session might have an answer to that. There's a comment from Clayton de Oliveira. Looks like it always chooses the main picture from the last place that you added to the list. Yes, that's also my impression, because if then I create a list and I change the sorting order on the mobile device, then the place or the main picture will sometimes change, because there's then another one. So no, it's perhaps not the last one you added, but the last one in the list. That's my experience. Okay, so Jude, will you then try and make a list soon?
I will give it a shot.
Yeah, you definitely should. Yeah, it's quite easy. It's just anything which is already on Google Maps can be part of the list, and everybody has like the 5 favorite restaurants or the must-see places in my hometown. That's an easy thing, and especially if they are really linked to this town, it will be featured on maps under this town in the Explore section, and there it can be really helpful with for other people if they come to your city and find this list, and can really have some information about places. Especially what Google really likes is that you include typical local information. So it's not the idea that you add places to the list and then add a Wikipedia style description of the place. If people want to find out that kind of information, they can look it up on Wikipedia. The goal is what is so special about this place from your specific perspective.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, anybody we have not heard yet that would like to comment on any topic or has any questions about lists? Where is my page with lists?
Jan, can you share your profile on Google Map? I want to go and see if under your name I can see the lists that you created.
Hang on. Let me first.
Or tell me about a place that you visited and your picture is over there that I can reach your profile into.
Yeah.
Whatever is easier for you.
Yeah, just well, if I'm pitching, I can. I might as well easily pitch. I'll type it in the message here. This Steinruhe. It's a German. It's based in Germany. I'm there almost every weekend because it's the B&B that my wife exploits. So.
Did you send it? I didn't reach yet.
No, it's in the Zoom, in the chat, in the group chat. There's a chat icon, and you could find it there. No, hang on, that's not.
Yeah, click on everybody. Yeah, click on everybody or everyone. You will go to everyone chat.
Yes, to everyone. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, let me look it up. I'll try to see your list if I can see it.
Okay. Good. Let's see if there are any more questions.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Hi.
this is Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
From India.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm level 7.
Okay.
Google Guide. What I've observed is if you are visiting some places, the last visited places, related to that, I think the list comes up in the public list comes up in your explore option.
Okay.
And as you said, there is no option currently to check any list, so that I think that will be a yeah.
I found that there was a discussion on how to find lists also on Local Guides Connect, and one of the moderators, one of the Google moderators, so not the Connect moderator, not the Local Guide, a real Google employee said, yeah, you can just Google it, just type into Google lists for this city or lists like this. I try that, and even with the title of my Gemstone Adventures list, not to be found. So how those lists get pitched to specific areas, how they are shown, quite unclear to me.
Yeah, right.
And you created lists yourself, Patrick?
Yeah, I have created them, but I have not yet posted them on public. So it's basically like I follow a few blogs and I note down and keep it for my record so that I can visit in the future.
Okay. Yeah. No, perhaps you can afterwards filter the best off from all those lists and make one public list with that, because it's nice as a test, of course.
Yeah, that is definitely my plan, because what in my circle that sometimes even though in the same city, people I don't know a few places. So I think in that case I'll be making a list like that.
Yes.
The undiscovered places, something like that. Yeah.
I also see a question from a while ago, so please bear with me, guys, because this is for me also the first time to do this kind of thing. And I know from the sessions from our friend Jeroen, who is here but not actively participating, I think, that it can be quite hectic to do all those things together, because he's running often Facebook live chats. But Clayton from Brazil says that choosing the pictures for the lists and the main photo is difficult. It's kind of buggy. Would you care to comment or give more details on that, Clayton?
Hello, are you listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay then. Actually, when I try to do some lists, I do it on my mobile, and actually I don't follow an order. I just put the places. Like I've made a list from Paulista Avenue in Brazil, from holding buildings that still exist there. I'll try to find here and send to you, but. Then I tried to make a list like from the first place to the last one. And actually, when I put them at first, I just put the places I remember in mind. And when I choose to, there's always a main photo in the list, right?
Yes.
And and that photo I couldn't choose.
No. Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier. And that's quite silly that you are unable to select that picture. But I know probably Google is aware of that, and as always, they will be working on this, I guess, in the background, but not telling anybody that they are working on it. And then one day it's just there. That's what usually happens with the new features.
No, okay then. So it's not a problem, just that I have.
No. It's definitely a problem for all of us. It's really difficult or it's to my knowledge impossible to select or to control which image exactly is used as the main image for your list.
Yeah. And we have also the Google Maps, the older app, right? That was when you wanted to make a list or something like that. You had that older app, and nowadays they are trying to put all together, but still kind of buggy too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's some of the things, and especially you have to find the right combination with using the app and using the desktop version. We've had accounts, as we told earlier, of people putting a lot of effort in writing descriptions for places, and then the day after, all the descriptions were gone.
Yeah. And one last question that Morten did up here, I didn't heard that, or I didn't notice if anyone answered, but about the market, we usually do the list and we publish and to friends and etc. But I see also that Google chooses, I don't know how Google chooses one list from another to send to all the users.
Yes, sometimes I cannot find any logic behind it. Why is this list showing in this place, and why is another list that is clearly relevant for this place not showing?
Yeah, I realized here in Brazil that they are making some, I don't know, they are making some partnerships with journals and online guides. But there's also some people that are local guides like level 6 or 10 or that doesn't matter the level they are, but sometimes I see one or more content from them also highlighted.
Okay, good, thank you. I'm going to mute you now because there's quite a lot of, you muted yourself, that's great, makes it easier for me. In the meantime, I've seen that Ashrut Arya has joined something. Would you like to comment on that, Ashrut?
I think he shared his profile.
Pardon? Yeah, I've shared my profile actually for Google Maps.
Okay, yes. Oh, that's very
I'm Ashrut Arya, local guide level 8. So I couldn't find any, the option to share my screen. So I shared the profile link, and I created a list in Mumbai.
You have created a list already, or more lists?
I've created a list already in Mumbai. So it was basically a getaway list for getaway places in Mumbai.
Okay.
The thing is, there weren't any views or any, I didn't find any utility for that list. So what is the basic point for creating that list? I wanted to know that.
Yes, well, it's what I noticed with so I have two lists, and one is clearly shown and received 600 something views, but that's because it shows up under this Explore. So what you would need to do is go to Google Maps and just type in as search term only Mumbai, so only the name of the city, and then go to the Explore part and scroll down. So on mobile device, you only see it on mobile device until you reach the lists parts, and there you can see which lists are which lists are shown, which not. And I think for a city like Mumbai, there will be quite a lot of lists.
Then there would be a lot of lists. Yeah.
Yes. And of course, there it's tougher competition for your list to rise. And I also have no idea what kind of ranking there or what decides if a list goes to the top or not. It's beyond any doubt some algorithm from Google, but yeah, no idea what the.
No idea whatsoever. Right. So that was the only question that I had.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I also see that Farghese Jose has shared a link to a docs file. Would you like to give some explanation there? I see you're still here, but not. Hi.
Yeah, I'm Varghese.
Varghese, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
India.
Okay, and you're level 9, right?
9. Yeah, I've previously shared a list of places where I have put the 360 photos. I have shared the link before.
Okay. And, yeah, it's in the chat.
Yeah, and I usually share my knowledge to so many people because it is quite interesting that so many of the people us do not know what is there in maps and all. There is live location sharing feature is there. Are you aware of it?
Yes, we actually used it quite intensively during the European Meetup in Belgium a couple of months ago.
Okay.
It's really convenient. You just say with 10 people, let's meet at that time, at that point, and you can see, okay, he or she will be 10 minutes late because they're still there or there. So.
Trip sharing is there, I know. Trip sharing. If you're traveling to a place, you can share the live location like Uber or like taxi coming in. You can see us coming in.
Yeah. No, there's really a lot of very practical things, and most people only use like 5% of all the possibilities.
In possibilities. And regarding the photos, we have unlimited storage. No one is aware of it. So the backup photo, we have unlimited space with high quality. And Google Translate is a wonderful option.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for I think your language, that's still the best option there is. There is a tool which works even better than Google Translate, but it's not. It's only at the moment only for most European languages.
But I feel the camera itself translates a language. Just showing the camera, it can translate it.
Yes, you mean Google Lens?
No, in Translate only you can have that option.
Okay.
Just instant translate is there. It is a good option.
Yeah.
And you can just take a scan and you can get the text typed in.
Yes.
And just copy and paste it somewhere, it will be typed. And even it will read it out.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of practical uses, and there's more coming up.
Yeah, even in the list also, I've created a list like for the there was a rally come in Cochin. I've created a list for that. So it had a start point, end point, and there are so many routes was there. Even all the routes were in the map.
Yeah.
I have drawn a route in the map. It was a wonderful list.
Okay.
I can share the link for that also.
Yes, you can share it in the. I will probably find a way to share all of the chat stuff later on as well. The night is still young for me. I'll have to figure out a lot.
For me also it is 12:30 midnight.
Okay. Yeah. No, over here it's like 10 minutes to 9 in the evening now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are so many wonderful options that we are not using. I used to share my knowledge with so many local guides and other people around. So many options like what you call cloud print is there. Conference call with Hangout. Actually, I have used Hangout for a conference call, and it can be live in YouTube also simultaneously.
Yes.
So there is a limit of 10 people, but it can go live on YouTube also.
Yeah. And there's more exciting stuff coming from Google, and that's why I was mentioning Google Lens a few minutes ago.
And regarding the photos, are you familiar? There is family sharing option has come. Yeah, familiar with that?
What exactly do you mean?
In Google Photos, actually I concentrate on Google Photos and Maps. Maps, people don't know is trip sharing. There is a option for voting also. If you select 2-3 places and share a list, and the other people can vote for that.
Yeah, you can put places on lists, and then people can share, and then you can say, okay, the 3 places with the most votes, those are the ones we will visit. Yes. Yeah, that's a very nice.
That's a very good feature.
Yes.
And nobody is using it.
So once again, for the big meetup in Ghent, we also used that option to select a few of the restaurants.
In Google Photos, we can have partner sharing feature. It's a good feature. It's like if you take a photo, it will be automatically shared with your partner.
Okay.
And with face recognition, it will automatically share to the other people also automatically. So it will be in the Google Photos.
Yes.
If you share it in WhatsApp and all, we delete it once the phone is formatted or something.
Yeah.
So in this case, it will be now it is available for lifetime since there is any change. And the search feature in Google Photos is a good option.
Yes.
Creating movies, so many other options. It is very attractive.
Great. So we're getting close to 9, which is supposed to be the end of the session. Yeah. So let me quickly see if anyone else wants to share some experience on lists or has additional questions about the use of lists on Google Maps.
And not regarding the lists, Jen, I wanted to ask one thing. You have held several meetups in Ghent, right?
Sorry?
You have held several meetups in Ghent, right?
Yeah, the one I'm referring to was the big meetup that we did a couple of months ago. That's right, yes.
So actually I was looking forward to start some meetups in Mumbai, and I wanted to know how you go forward with the meetups and how you connect with the people to invite them.
Yeah, that's the trick. So it's not about lists, but about meetups, but that's fine, of course. It's really difficult to find people to join in meetups. That's because Google is making it extremely difficult to find other local guides in your area. It's not you who has this problem. Everyone has this problem. So I actually a couple of last week, I think, I published a new post on Local Guides Connect called 9 Tips to Host a Great Meetup. And there I shared some of my experience that I had from doing this big meetup where people from 8 different countries were joining together for this meetup. But it really takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to find other local guides. So you have to write a post on Connect. You have to then share that on in the Facebook groups and find other local guides, perhaps on Twitter or other social media or Instagram. And reach out to them and find people who might be interested in joining the meetup. And
okay, then it's one thing to find out the people, and then it's another thing to actually host a meetup. So what do you actually do when they get there?
Most meetups is like walk a bit around and find a pub and have a drink and do some more walking and talking and then go for dinner. That's what most of the photo walks and all of these. It's just people getting together, and of course a lot of the conversation is just social conversation between people having a good time. And from time to time, something about the use of Google Maps or local guides comes up.
All right.
Tips and tricks you can exchange. But basically, it's people who have similar habits, or hobbies, and interests coming together and having a great time. Perhaps I see that Jane has joined us from Ukraine. She can testify to the fun it has to have to participate in meetups, because I think she has taken part in quite a lot of meetups already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Jane, you'll have to unmute yourself if you want to speak on the session. Okay, and still more people. I'm beginning to suspect that some people think it was an hour later, the session.
I don't know. I just added it on the maps, and it was. I got a reminder that the meetup is starting.
Yes,
so I just stopped it.
I sent a reminder like an hour before the session.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jane, hi. Would you like to share some of your experience with lists?
Oh, I have some experience about lists. When we had some plans to do our meetup, we used Google Maps list, as you remember, and we had 25 places to visit.
Where you could vote. We could vote for places, and that's one particular use of lists. Did you create some public lists already yourself?
Yes. I created my personal and shared this list with different people. It's list about my popular cafe, which I like to visit, and I propose people to visit it too, because I love this cafe, and I think people. I have some followers who visit this cafe too. I think it's very useful feature in Google Maps.
That's one of the places people will be looking for if they are visiting your town, of course. But for us roots, one important thing about meetups and hosting a meetup is just do it. Don't wait for other people. Don't wait for other people.
I totally agree with you.
First, I need to reach level whatever, or I need to have attended 5 other. No, just
of course.
go to your calendar, pick a date that suits you, and then create. There's some very great posts on Connect on how to prepare for submitting a meetup, because that's also important. How you submit the info on the Google on the Connect platform. But once you have decided this, just submit it.
Actually, I did it about a year ago, and so I read the post and I did everything. But then at till the actual meetup date, there was like 5 participants, and then I had to back out because none of them were coming at the actual date.
Yeah.
So I had to
Yeah, and a lot of meetups. That's also important to know. A lot of meetups have like one participant, you yourself, and nobody else shows up. That it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
That's
It was with me, really. It was with me because I was solo.
Yeah. But then it's important if you set up a meetup and nobody shows up, still do the meetup, take some pictures, and write a post on Connect.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
afterwards, people say, "Hey, this looked really nice. Next time this guy or this girl makes a meetup, have to make sure that I join." So it's all about attention.
And don't forget something. It's a win for you if not somebody show up. That means that you're the only one in that area that you can post picture. So
Yes.
see it in both ways. See that you are the only one. You have a chance to put more picture actually.
More pictures, more points, more opportunity to to reach the next
like
level.
even my experience for this, I tried to do something in Greece in Athens. Nobody showed up. Maybe 2 or 3 showed up. So so don't be that much like don't feel sorry for that.
No,
because when he entered his meeting, we came from like 8 countries, not from the same country, 8 people.
No, and that's also by far the only meetup I organized where so many people and from so many different countries were joining.
How many participants are actually there? The number of participants?
Yeah.
Jan, another thing I just wanted to mention before I go. I checked your list, but the only thing that you can follow, you can't like the I can't give the positive points for you. Like I can't give the like to you. I give the like to the places, not to you. This is something that maybe you need to tell Google, like, okay, I did the list, I did the work, everything. Okay, you gave me some points. Yes, tell me.
Have you heard about ID Exchange on Connect? You can write a post there. I will vote for it for sure if you post an idea to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So actually, one thing we could do is share our Connect IDs over here, so we can follow mutually everyone.
Yes, but yes, you can, but follow is not the right word because on Connect you cannot follow other users. That's
we can, right?
Yes, you can write, and with these direct.
No, we can follow other users on Connect, right? I guess we can.
No. It's not. It's not like you can say I want to follow, or once you have the name, you can always look up this user and see has he or she published something new. But a typical social media way of following other people on Connect, it's not there.
It was that with Google Plus.
Yes, yeah, it was linked to it. Yes. So
yeah.
At some point they will be adding something, I'm quite sure, but right now there's nothing. There's no possibility to have. That's why there are so many groups on Facebook, for example, with local guides and Hangouts, and now Telegram is more and more popular these days. So
yes, we can create a Telegram group.
Yeah. That's
we can create Telegram group.
That's for sure.
We have Telegram group for local guides. Yes, we have.
There are multiple. No, we also had a Telegram guide, Telegram group with the people who attended the meetup in Belgium. And that's what Jane is.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, right. We can create new group.
Yes.
No. Is anybody of you going to the LG Summit?
This particular group, this particular meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Telegram is the only one messenger that I don't have.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's more and more people that do not like the Facebook universe. So WhatsApp, Messenger, it's all Facebook. And then people say, no, we want to do something which is not Facebook. And that's why I think, and also with the Cambridge Analytica stuff and the elections in US and UK, that's why Telegram is winning so much popularity these days.
Yeah, right. It's good. Yeah. I like it than the WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay, any final words from anybody of you before we close the session here? If not,
I'm fine. At least thanking you actually for the hard work that you always do.
I just
exactly. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much. I just started my first list.
Okay, that's really great to.
Thank you.
I just wanted to finish off with a small pitch, of course, for those who are not yet aware of it. You should check out the Let's Guide podcast. That's a podcast that I create about and for local guides. And it typically has episodes about, for example, the map markers, how to get to level 5 in a day. It's not relevant for most of you, or level 5 is you're all beyond that, but it's a nice episode to hear about how to score points easily, local language categories, stuff like this. There's a new episode every 2 weeks. Let'sguidepodcast.com is really a fun destination for most of you. The episodes are usually like 20 minutes, so that's easy to listen to. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining this session. I'll let you know what happens with the recording and with the links that everybody shared.
Are you going to share a recording link?
Yeah, I'll have to figure out. As I said at the beginning of the session, this is my first time in this tool in Zoom, so I have no idea what will happen next or where I can find this recording, and if so, how can I upload it somewhere or whatever. Let's see, perhaps, and probably not this evening. It might last until the weekend before I find the time to do that, but for sure I will post on Connect in the original post about this meetup. I will add the info to where you can find all the material.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for now. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.